little Chef Winnie Lou breakdown.
A little breakdown of the assortment of stuff here. Maybe we should turn some of this shit.
You want to shut that door?
Alright everybody, Coach Chris here, Impact Performance and Fitness, and today we got a cool little video going over how to cook, how to prepare your food so that way you can make your food taste better, because I find that most people struggle to eat healthy when they're not able to make it taste good. So if we can make your dinners and lunches and breakfast or whatever taste good, then you're going to be less likely to go out and eat because you're looking for a tasty meal. So the first thing I want to start off by saying is I just got done reading this article. It was very interesting. It was about baseball players, and hang on for a second as I make this tie in. So it was talking about how today, right now, a lot of the kids are able to hit like 400-foot home runs, and they can throw 90-something miles per hour from the diamond. But the problem is that they're not really, adequate in other skills that it takes to be a really good baseball player. And specifically, it was the catch drill, so throw and catch. So a typical thing that we would do when we were young playing baseball is you would go across the field, you would warm up, you'd throw the ball to your partner, he would catch it, he would throw it back. Now, one of the things that we didn't do do all the time was hit 400-foot home runs back then. But these essential skills in baseball, throwing and catching and eye-hand coordination, and these small drills like turning double plays and fielding ground balls are the essentials to a quality baseball player that can make a long career in the sport. So I want you to think about the same thing with your ingredients. Are the fundamental skills that are needed in order to be able to be a healthy human being, to be able to cook your meals, to be able to enjoy food. And I think that a lot of times we struggle just putting the right flavors together. So today I'm going to share just the bare minimum basics that you can use that are going to really, really help you out. So the first thing I like to say is you want to make sure you're using healthy fats. So right here on this side of the table, I got some healthy fats. Now, this one I use when I want to just coat my pan so that I'm not getting my food stuck to the pan. Am I a big fan of airsoft type stuff? Not really, but this really does a good job of coating the pan, and I can kind of control it a little bit easier. Now this guy right here, I like to use when I'm making any kind of meats, when I'm making vegetables and stuff like that. This comes in handy a lot of times for, if you want to do roasted asparagus or roasted green beans. It's very, very easy, 1-2 punch. Do a little olive oil, you take a little sea salt and a little bit of cracked pepper, and you just throw it in the oven and you let it sit. And that alone is one of the most easy, basic meals that's going to really, really taste good for you. Coconut oil, on the other hand, this is really good because it has a very, the smoke point is a little bit different, so this will allow you to cook with a higher heat than the olive oil before the olive oil kind of changes its molecular balance. So using coconut oil allows you to saute things just a little bit more without getting it really smoky and burnt up. So I like to use this a lot of times. Some people don't really like the coconut flavor in there, but it definitely is a healthy alternative, and I do believe you can use one type of coconut oil. I think it's like there's the unfiltered one that doesn't have that coconutty taste. This one unfortunately does have the coconut taste, the extra virgin, 100% organic, but there are other types that don't have that coconut flavor. Now, I like to use this with eggs. I like to use this with peppers and onions. It gives it a great little flavor right there if you really like that coconut flavor in your food. But if not, there's nothing wrong with sticking with the basic olive oil. I find that most people, this is the one that they like to use the most, and this is if we can get you to use a healthier fat and olive oil is the only one that you like, then I'm okay with that. All right, so the essentials, like we said, that you want to be able to start with. A lot of people go into the Himalayan sea salt and all that stuff, right? I know that's really, really popular, but guys, I want you to think about ground balls, playing catch, turning double plays, right? We want to focus on just the fundamentals. We're not really, Himalayan sea salt is like hitting a home run right now, and a lot of us are just learning how to swing the bat. So if you just stick to basic salt and pepper, you're going to do great things with that. Now, one thing I do like to add a little bit, especially with my vegetables, is a little bit of the lemon pepper. Now, this goes really, really good with chicken. All right, so if you like a little lemon zest in the chicken, and another thing that you can do is you can actually start off by, after you're done, your chicken's almost done cooking, you throw a little lemon squeeze on top of that chicken. But the first step is you want to kind of put a little olive oil, a cup of olive oil in the pan with your chicken. You want to let it sit in the olive oil, coat it real good. Then you want to hit it with some seasoning, right? Hit it on the top, hit it on the bottom. That's going to allow that to stick to that chicken. And then what I like to do then is just put it in the oven for about 30 minutes with the oven on 400. I don't really have to do much. These three ingredients right here with a little bit of olive oil, you take the lid off after 30 minutes and put it back in so that it cooks some of that flavor back in, and you got delicious tasting chicken, fish, or whatever you want to do. Now, when I do a lot of different things like ground turkey or ground beef, I kind of fall back on the lemon pepper. I still use this guy, and I like to, if I'm using ground beef, right, I like to stick with this because the grass-fed beef has enough fat as it is, so I don't like to add any additional fat with that. I just coat the pan so that it doesn't stick. Now, if you're using ground turkey, then I would recommend throwing a little olive oil in there because there's not as much fat content, and this is gonna keep it nice and juicy with your flavor. The next thing I like to do is I like to add a little ground cumin. I like to take a little paprika. I'll throw in some minced onion right there, and one of the other ingredients I don't have here today would be chili powder. So chili powder and these ingredients right here go really, really good with if you're making ground meat for just in a bowl, you're making it for a salad, whatever you're doing with it. This is the technique that I like to do. So remember, all this right here, if you want to do ground turkey, if you're doing grass-fed ground beef, go ahead and take that away, coat your pan with that, and you'll do just fine. Now, when it comes to getting really fancy with stuff, maybe you want to kind of add some new flavors to your chicken, right? So we want to come back to this olive oil as the base coat, cracked salt, pepper, and then what we like to do is I like to, experiment with different flavors. So if you look at our PN infographic, it'll kind of tell you at different flavors how to make them taste a little bit different. You can add a little bit of a spice to it if you like some cayenne pepper, but ground ginger has a delicious flavor to it. We got right here the turmeric, very, very good for you, very, very healthy for you with digestion, right? And then thyme, it's kind of like a little bit of a French flavor there. So if you like, depending on what kind of food you like, you can figure out which one of these ingredients you enjoy the most. And one that I did not put in here is the garlic powder. I gotta put the garlic powder on everything, so this one I missed in the ground turkey, but you can add that in there if you like garlic, but some people don't really like garlic. One thing I like to really, really do if you do like garlic is take some fresh garlic cloves, take 2 tablespoons of this olive oil, put the olive oil in the pan, do the garlic cloves, and I'll even take the clove and smash it with a little bit like a butter knife, and it releases all the juices into the pan, and then you kind of get yourself like a nice little flavored sauce there. And after you're done, citrus is a good thing to kind of squeeze on the top of that, right? So now, moving on, when it comes to your eggs, right? A lot of people like eating eggs, but I like to make my eggs delicious, right? So one thing, once again, I might use a little oil, depending on your flavor, which one you like. Maybe you don't like any oil and you just go with the pan. This one's up to you. Next step to that is I crack a little salt, crack a little pepper, throw a little cayenne pepper on there. Sometimes I'll add a little lemon pepper, but sometimes that little lemon zest gets a little bit overbearing. So I'll just use these flavors right here. This is good to just crack over top of it. And if you're doing like avocado or tomatoes on the side, which I highly recommend, take a bed of spinach, put it down, take some tomatoes, cut them up, take some peppers, whatever you like, and just crack these two on top of the avocado and the tomato, and you have some delicious sides to go with it. You're getting plenty of delicious colors and fruits and vegetables in that meal at the same time, right? Now, salsa. A lot of people get caught up on ketchup, right? Ketchup and different stuff like that. So I like to use salsa. I forgot my sriracha today, but this is a good alternative to using ketchup, because a lot of times if people like that, like tomato feeling, that tomato base, I like to use a salsa. So this one's hot. You can use mild or medium. I enjoy using hot. With the salsa also, you can use sriracha. Sriracha is a good thing to kind of squirt on top of those eggs if you're like really, really struggling with getting away from sauce, right? Ketchup, yeah, it's not the worst thing for you, but they do put a lot of fructose corn syrup. They're kind of changing it nowadays, but I still think that using this, you're gonna have more benefits, you're gonna have more vegetables in there. If you can even do a fresh salsa, that's even better, but remember, fresh salsa is like swinging for the fences right now. We're just trying to lay down some bunts with your food. Taco seasoning, right? Great dish that we make is a crock pot. So same thing, I take a little olive oil, coat my chicken, throw a little salt and pepper, that's optional. Sometimes just using this right here. Olive oil on the chicken, throw it into a crock pot, empty a little guy of this right here, a little salsa, and then take a couple tablespoons of taco seasoning, and right there you got a nice easy crock pot dish. You can throw in some onions and peppers in there to cook it with it, and then what you do is after it's done cooking, you just shred the chicken. All right, so those are another option for you. Now when it comes to seafood, I really enjoy making seafood and putting in maybe shrimp with some kind of fish or something like that. This really goes good. Just a little Old-Bay seasoning is really good flavor for your shrimp. Any kind of tilapia, because tilapia doesn't have a ton of flavor to it, so it's very good for you because it's a white fish. So you can just add a little bit of this Old-Bay seasoning. It makes it really good. I throw it on shrimp. You can put those together, and you can pretty much add anything else that you would like in there. But Old-Bay is definitely one of those ones. Just watch that you don't use too much because it does have a little bit of sodium in there, but sodium won't kill you unless you're just absolutely crushing it with your sodium. So these are some of the main ingredients. I'll put them all back out here that I like to use on different dishes to make my food taste just a little bit better. And remember, just like any kind of other habit, it takes a little bit of practice with it. So don't be hard on yourself if the first couple times it doesn't come out the way you would like it to, because it just takes doing this over and over, mixing different ingredients, trying to figure out what works for you, which things you like, which things you don't like. And when you kind of start learning those flavors, like I know that in certain things, certain days, certain meals, certain vegetables, I like a little more ginger, right? I know other times I might like a little more garlic, right? Certain flavors don't always match together, but this is a great thing because you can trial and error. You can experiment with different flavors and different ways to be able to make things work. So give it a shot and let me know what you think. And we'll try to bring you some more videos on stuff that you like. So don't be afraid to post below the video. If you have any questions, I can kind of go deeper into whatever it is that we covered on this.